4. Choose an EQ mentor. Find someone who is gifted in your chosen EQ skill and ask this person if he or she is willing to offer you feedback and guidance at regular intervals during your journey. Be certain to set up a regular meeting time and write this person's name in your action plan. 5. Keep the following in mind as you apply your chosen strategies. A. Expect success, not perfection. When it comes to developing new EQ skills, perfection means you aren't pushing yourself hard enough. You'll need to continue to catch yourself when your emotions get the best of you if you want to keep improving. B. Practice, practice, practice. Sheer quantity of practice is the real secret to increasing your EQ skills. Practice your EQ strategies as often as you can in a variety of situations and with all types of people. C. Be patient. When you work to improve your EQ, it will take a few months to realize a lasting change. Most people see measurable, enduring changes 3 to 6 months after they begin working on a skill. 6. Measure your progress. Once you've made sufficient progress in the EQ skill you selected for Part 1 of your action plan, go online and take the Emotional Intelligence Appraisal a second time. Complete the action plan again, this time comparing your old and new scores and percentage of change. Chapter 5. Self-Awareness Strategies. Simply put, to be self-aware is to know yourself as you really are. Initially, self-awareness can come across as a somewhat ambiguous concept. There is no finish line where someone is going to slap a medal on you and deem you self-aware. In addition, awareness of yourself is not just knowing that you prefer oranges over apples or telling people that you're a morning person instead of a night owl. It's deeper than that. Getting to know yourself inside and out is a continuous journey of peeling back the layers of the onion and becoming more and more comfortable with what is in the middle, the true essence of you. Your hardwired emotional reactions to anything come before you even have a chance to respond. Since it isn't possible to leave your emotions out of the equation, managing yourself and your relationships means you first need to be aware of the full range of your feelings, both positive and negative. When you don't take time out to notice and understand your emotions, they have a strange way of resurfacing when you least expect or want them to. It's their way of trying to bring something important to your attention. They will persist, and the damage will mount until you take notice. Facing the truth about who you are can at times be unsettling. Getting in touch with your emotions and tendencies takes honesty and courage. Be patient and give yourself credit for even the smallest bits of forward momentum. As you start noticing things about yourself that you weren't previously aware of, things you aren't always going to like, you are progressing. The remainder of this chapter introduces you to 15 original strategies which were designed to help you maximize your self-awareness to create positive changes in your life. The strategies are straightforward and packed full of insights and examples that will help your self-awareness grow. Self-awareness strategies. 1. Quit treating your feelings as good or bad. 2. Observe the ripple effect from your emotions. 3. Lean into your discomfort. 4. Feel your emotions physically. 5. Know who and what pushes your buttons. 6. Watch yourself like a hawk. 7. Keep a journal about your emotions. 8. Don't be fooled by a bad mood. 9. Don't be fooled by a good mood either. 10. Stop and ask yourself why you do the things you do. 11. Visit your values. 12. Check yourself. 13. Spot your emotions in books, movies, and music. 14. Seek feedback. 15. Get to know yourself under stress. Self-awareness strategy number 1. Quit treating your feelings as good or bad. It's human nature to want to create two simple and easy piles of emotions, the good ones and the bad ones. For instance, most people would automatically classify guilt as bad. You don't want to feel it, you might even beat yourself up about it, and you do whatever you can to get rid of it. Likewise, we tend to let good emotions like excitement run wild. We pump ourselves up and feed off the energy. The downfall of attaching such labels to your emotions is that judging your emotions keeps you from really understanding what it is that you are feeling. When you allow yourself to sit with an emotion and become fully aware of it, you can understand what is causing it. Suspending judgment of emotions allows them to run their course and vanish. Passing judgment on whether you should or shouldn't be feeling what you are feeling just heaps more emotions on top of the pile and prevents the original feeling from running its course. So, the next time you feel an emotion beginning to build, take notice of it immediately. Refrain from putting it into the good or bad pile and remind yourself that the feeling is there to help you understand something important. Self-awareness strategy number 2. Observe the ripple effect from your emotions. Consider for a moment what happens when you drop a stone into water. The stone's swift plummet pierces the water's surface, sending ripples in all directions. Your outpourings of emotions are like stones that send ripples through the people in your life. Since emotions are the primary drivers of your behavior, it's important you understand the effect they have on other people. Let's say a manager loses his cool and berates an employee in front of the rest of the team. When the lashing happens, it may seem that the manager's target is the only one whose feelings get bruised, but the ripple effect from the manager's explosion affects all who witnessed it. As the rest of the team members wander back to their desks, the others too feel the manager's wrath. They go back to work with a pit in their stomachs, each one wondering when his or her turn will come up. The manager thinks his tirade was good for productivity because the rant scared people straight, but their fear soon settles into caution. To perform at their best, the team members need to take risks, stretch themselves beyond their comfort zone, and even make some mistakes along the way. No one on the team wants to be the manager's next target, so the team members play it safe and do only as they are told. When the manager gets docked a year later for leading a team that fails to take initiative, he wonders what's wrong with the team. Your emotions are powerful weapons, and continuing to think that their effects are instant and minimal will only do you a disservice. The key to observing the ripple effects of your emotions is to watch closely how they impact other people immediately, and then use that information as a guide for how your emotions are bound to affect a wider circle long after you unleash the emotion. To fully understand the ripple effects of your emotions, you'll need to spend some time reflecting upon your behavior. You'll also need to ask other people how they are affected by your emotions. The more you understand how your emotions ripple outward, the better equipped you'll be to choose the type of ripples that you want to create. Self-awareness strategy number 3. Lean into your discomfort. The biggest obstacle to increasing your self-awareness is the tendency to avoid the discomfort that comes from seeing yourself as you really are. Things you do not think about are off your radar for a reason. They can sting when they surface. Avoiding this pain creates problems because it is merely a short-term fix. You'll never be able to manage yourself effectively if you ignore what you need to do to change. Rather than avoiding a feeling, your goal should be to move toward the emotion, into it, and eventually through it. This can be said for even mild emotional discomfort such as boredom, confusion, or anticipation. When you ignore or minimize an emotion, no matter how small or insignificant, you miss the opportunity to do something productive with that feeling. Even worse, ignoring your feelings does not make them go away. It just helps them to surface again when you least expect them. To be effective in life, we all need to discover our own arrogance, those things we don't bother to learn about and dismiss as unimportant. One person thinks apologies are for sissies, so she never learns to recognize when one is needed. Another person hates feeling down, so he constantly distracts himself with meaningless activity and never really feels content. Both people need to take the bold step of leaning into the feelings that will motivate them to change. Otherwise, they will continue down an unproductive, unsatisfying path, repeating the same patterns over and over again. After the first few times you lean into your discomfort, you will quickly find that the discomfort isn't so bad. It doesn't ruin you, and it reaps rewards. The surprising thing about increasing your self-awareness is that just thinking about it will help you change, even though much of your focus will initially be on the things you do wrong. Don't be afraid of your emotional mistakes. They tell you what you should be doing differently and provide the steady stream of information you need to understand yourself as life unfolds. Self-awareness strategy number 4. Feel your emotions physically. When you experience an emotion, electrical signals course through your brain and trigger physical sensations in your body. The physical sensations can be as varied as your stomach muscles tightening, your heart rate increasing, your breathing quickening, or your mouth going dry. Because your mind and body are so tightly connected, one of the most effective ways to understand your emotions as they are happening is to learn how to spot the physical changes that accompany your emotions. To better understand the physical effects of your emotions, try closing your eyes the next time you have a few moments alone. Feel how fast or slow your heart is beating. Notice the pace of your breathing. Determine how tense or relaxed the muscles are in your arms, legs, neck, and back. Now think of a couple of events from your life, one positive and one negative, that generate strong emotions. Think through one of these events in enough detail that you can feel your emotions stir. Take note of the physical changes that accompany the feelings. Do they make your breathing or heart rate change? Do your muscles grow tense? Do you feel hotter or colder? Repeat this process with the other event and take note of the physical differences in the emotions from the positive and negative experiences. Closing your eyes and thinking of emotionally arousing events is simply training for the real thing, spotting the physical signs of your emotions on the fly. In the beginning, try not to think too hard. Simply open your mind to noticing the sensations. As you improve at this, you'll find that you're often physically aware of an emotion long before you're mentally aware of it. Self-awareness strategy number 5. Know who and what pushes your buttons. We all have buttons, pet peeves, triggers, whatever you want to call them, that when pushed just irritate and irk us until we want to scream. Perhaps you have a coworker who lives her life as if she were constantly on stage. Her entrance into meetings is dramatic and flaring, and she feeds off the energy from everyone's attention and uses that energy to take control of the room.